Data handling. Introduction to circle graph or pie chart. You have learnt about collecting, organizing a data, and representing a data in different ways. The given data can be represented in the form of bar graph, double bar graphs, histogram, and so on. Now let us learn about another way of representing the given data, that is, a pie chart. We can also call this as circle graph. As the name says, representing the data here will be in the circular form. Let us take an example now. Here we have a circular representation of a data. This graph shows the time spent by a child in a day. This is called circle graph or pie chart for the given information. A circle graph shows the relationship between a whole and its parts. Here the whole circle is divided into sectors. The size of each sector is proportional to the activity or information it represents. For example, in the above graph, the proportion of the sector for hours spent in sleeping is equal to the number of sleeping hours over whole day. That is equal to 1/3 of the whole day. So in the circle graph, it is drawn 1/3 part of the circle. In the same way, the proportion of the sector for hours spent in school is equal to the number of hours spent in school over whole day. That is equal to 1/4 of the whole day. And if we consider the proportion of the sector for hours spent for homework is equal to the number of hours spent for homework over the whole day. That is equal to 1/6 of the whole day. Similarly, if we consider the proportion of the sector for hours spent in playing is equal to the number of hours spent in playing over whole day. And the proportion of the sector for hours spent for other activities is also equal to 1/8 of the whole day. Observe that when you add up all the sectors representing different works, you will get the complete circle. A pie chart includes a title and a circle with sectors. Let's look closely at each of these parts of a pie chart. The title of the graph provides an overview of the type of information represented in the pie chart. The circle is divided into sectors of varied sizes. The size of each sector is in proportion to the information presented. Regardless of the size of the sectors in the circle, each sector represents only one type of data. In this case, each sector represents the time spent by a child during a day. You have seen how the given information can be represented in a circle graph or pie chart. Now let us take the same pie chart once again. Looking at this pie chart, can you tell for which activity the child is spending more time? Look at the biggest sector of the circle, which is labeled as sleep. It shows that 1/3 of the day is spent sleeping. Therefore, child is spending more time sleeping. Similarly, for which activity is the child spending less time? Here we can observe that the sector labeled for playing and the other activities both are having the smallest sectors among all. So we can say for playing and other activities, the child spends less time during the day. Now let us consider one more example. Here we have a pie chart representing the data of viewers watching different types of channels on TV. Observe the percentages of viewers watching different types of channels. Which type of programs are viewed the most? Entertainment programs are viewed the most. Which type of programs are viewed least? Informative programs. Can you tell which two types of programs have the number of viewers equal to those watching sports channels? The number of viewers who watch informative programs and news is equal to the number of viewers who watch sports channels. Now learn how to draw a pie chart. Let's consider this data. This chart shows the favorite flavors of ice creams for students of a school. Let's create a pie chart indicating the proportion of different flavors of ice creams. Before we begin with the creation of the pie chart of flavors, we need to first convert the percentage into degree, as the data has to be represented in sectors with some central angle that corresponds to the percentage. The total angle at the center of a circle is 360 degrees. Therefore, 100% classification of data values is represented by the 360-degree angle, or 1% is calculated as 360 degrees divided by 100, which equals 3.6 degrees. The central angle of the sector is a fraction of 360 degrees, which we need to find out. We make a table to find the central angle. Let's calculate the central angle for the sector corresponding to the percentage of chocolate flavor. Here the percentage is 50, then its corresponding fraction is 50 divided by 100 to give a fraction 1/2. As the central angle of the sectors is a fraction of 360 degrees, the central angle of the sector corresponds to chocolate flavor is half of 360 degrees, which is equal to 180 degrees. Now let's calculate for vanilla flavor. Here the percentage is 25, so its corresponding fraction is 25 divided by 100 to give a fraction 1/4. As the central angle of the sector is a fraction of 360 degrees, the central angle of the sector corresponding to vanilla flavor is 1/4 of 360 degrees, which is equal to 90 degrees. Now if you look at other flavors, the percentage is 25 again. So the central angle of the sector corresponding to other flavors is also equal to 90 degrees. To check whether the computation of sector angles is correct, find the sum of the degree and fractions. If the sum of the fractions is 1 and the sum of the degrees is 360 degrees, then the calculation is correct. Now that the degree for each sector has been determined, we create the pie chart. First, we draw a circle with a convenient radius. Mark its center O and a radius OA. Now we divide the circle into sectors. We use the protractor to mark an angle of measure 180 degrees, indicating the proportion of chocolate flavor. Similarly, we can mark 90 degrees, representing the proportion of vanilla flavor, and the remaining proportion will be 90 degrees, which represents other flavors. Now we show the percentage in the sector corresponding to each angle. Finally, we put a title for the pie chart or circle graph. Let us summarize what we have learned. Circular graphs that show relationship between a whole and its part is referred to as a circle graph or pie chart. In the graphs, the size of the identified sectors is in proportion to the activity or information presented. To create a circle graph or pie chart, convert percentage or fraction into degree of central angle. Divide sectors according to central angles. Display percentage in each sector. Label each sector. Title the pie chart or circle graph.